Hi, I'm Bob. We have arrived at Chapter 8 about the competitive firms and markets. Let's solve all the exercises for this chapter together. I used the textbook Microeconomics Theory and Applications with Calculus, the 5th edition by Professor Jeffrey Perloff. Let's get started. Here's exercise 1.1. A large city has nearly 500 restaurants, with new ones entering regularly as the population grows. The city decides to limit the number of restaurant licenses to 500. Which characteristics of this market are consistent with perfect competition, and which are not? Is this restaurant market likely to be nearly perfectly competitive? Explain your answer. We can check the 5 characteristics of a perfectly competitive market, one by one. First, the market consists of a large number of small firms and consumers. The city has nearly 500 restaurants. The requirement is satisfied. The second feature of perfect competition is that all firms produce identical products. The restaurants could serve different types of food: American food, Cantonese food, Chinese food, Japanese food, and Mexican food. They are differentiated goods. The second requirement seems not to be met. The third characteristic of a competitive market is that the firms can easily enter and exit the market. The license limit is a restriction that violates this requirement. There is no free entry when the number of restaurants reaches the limit. The last two characteristics are the full information and the negligible transaction costs. These two features are likely true in the restaurant market. Consumers should have full information about the food's prices, although the food's quality may not be very clear. Consumers should not have to spend much time finding the right restaurants. The cost of switching to other restaurants should be negligible. Based on the analysis, the restaurant market is not likely a perfectly competitive market. The main reason is the city's regulation that makes firms unable to enter easily. In such a market, the restaurants are not price takers. They are able to affect the price of the food they provide. Let's solve exercise 1.2. Why would high transaction costs or imperfect information tend to prevent price-taking behavior? Transaction costs are the expenses of finding a trading partner and making a trade for the product. Transaction costs include the time and money spent gathering information about a product's quality and finding someone with whom to trade. If the transaction costs are high, the firm can charge consumers a higher price because it may cost the consumers more to purchase the product from another firm. If consumers have imperfect information, they may not know the prices charged by other firms, and a single firm may be able to raise its price and still make sales. So, negligible transaction costs and perfect information are two requirements of perfect competition and price-taking behavior. Let's find answers to exercise 1.3. Based on the researchers, the corn demand elasticity is minus 0.3, and the supply elasticity is 0.15. According to the 2007 Census of Agriculture, the United States has 347,760 corn farms, assuming that the farms are of roughly equal size. What is the elasticity of demand facing a single farm? In a market with n identical firms, the elasticity of demand facing firm I, epsilon I, equals n times epsilon minus n-1 times eta O, where epsilon is the market elasticity of demand. Eta O is the elasticity of supply of the other firms in the market, and n-1 is the number of other firms. The equation relates a single firm's residual demand to the market demand and the supply of the other firms in the market. The market demand elasticity is minus 0.3. The supply elasticity of the other firms approximately equals the market supply elasticity, 0.15. N equals 347,760. Substituting the values into the formula gives minus 156,492. It is such a huge elasticity that we always assume a single firm faces a horizontal demand curve with an infinite price elasticity in the competitive market. Let's go to exercise 1.4. Based on equation A.2, by how much does the residual elasticity of demand facing a firm increase as the number of firms increases by one firm? We take the derivative of epsilon I with respect to n to find the marginal change in the firm's residual elasticity of demand as the market has one more firm. It is the sum of the market demand elasticity and the supply elasticity. The absolute value or the size of the residual elasticity of demand facing a firm increases by the absolute value of epsilon minus eta as the number of firms in the market increases by 1. Thank you for watching this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. See you next time.